Hi Vinaya, just wait for few minutes, then we will start. Some more candidate will join, then we'll start. ये चला गया। Anyway, let's start. Hello everyone, I am Gaurav Kumar. I am a research scholar at Department of Design, IIT Kanpur. So I will be your teaching assistant during entire course. So whatever you guys have any doubt or query, you may uh, ask me directly over here, or you may also email me on kgaurav23@itk.ac.in. Okay. These are my research area where I'm working. Currently, I'm working in the area of assistive medical devices for mobility rehabilitations. Okay, so I welcome you all in the week 4. So, whatever we learned in last week, we will try to summarize whole 4 week courses, whole 1 week courses. Okay, so we learned in the last week identifying customer needs analysis, and product specifications. So this week is all about translations, turning the messy human language of users into the prices. Testable language of engineering. So I will begin by gathering raw input exactly as they appear in the wild. Okay. Verbatim quotes from interview, observations from a real context, and patterns from complaint or support logs. I don't fix or interpret these yet. Okay, so let's move. So yeah, the first one is from voice of customer to design target. Okay, so this week is all about translations, turning the messy human language of user into the prices the stable language of engineering. So I will begin by gathering raw inputs exactly as they appears in the world. So verbatim quotes from interview, observations from a real context, and patterns from compliant on support logs. So I don't fix or interpret these yet. I am simply collect them faithfully. Next, I rewrite those raw input as a clean need statements that describe what the user want and why they want, so it without jumping to solutions. So once the needs are clear, I prioritize them so the team knows what deserves attention first and why. So finally I translate the top needs into measurables, specifications, metrics with target and units, puts the test methods we will use to verify them by the end of this cycle. So we have artifacts that any engineer, supplier, or question answers lists can pick up and use without ambiguity. Okay, so moving towards the next slide. So why start with customer needs? Okay, so starting from customer needs prevents us from building beautiful solutions to the wrong problems, right? So when needs are explicit and shared, design, engineering, procurement, and compliance align early around the same outcomes. So which directly, so which sorry, which dramatically reduce rework, shortens decision cycle, and de-risk launch. So in domain like assistive technology, this is more than efficiency. So it's responsibility So a missed need can compromise safety, dignity, or independence. So it is always cheaper to refine a sentence in a need statement than to retool a mechanism in a stage prototyping. So we invest upfront knowing that clear needs are the most powerful risk reductions tool we have. Okay, so the good needs work prevent the late stage churn. So seed time and budget. Okay. Moving to the next slide, collecting the customer input. Okay. So what are the method we observe that I treat input collections as evidence gathering, interviews give me depth, and observations and contextual inquiry give me reality. So survey add breadth and support log several recurring pain. So I involve typically users to understand mainstream requirements, lead or age users to surface stress case and innovations opportunity, and stakeholders such as service and sales. Sorry. Yes, please go ahead. Hello. You want to ask something? Okay. So basically we are trying to recap the whole 1 week courses. Okay, and then we will have some question answer sessions. So currently I'm trying to provide you a summary of last 1 week summary. You also left. Okay. So I captured the exact course and context where the event happened. So when under what constraints because needs are inseparable from situations. So especially for mobility and assistive devices. So I study a real use in RAM. So wait tiles, quiz and transit hub, not just lab benches. Two prompts that always help are walk me through the last time you did this step by step and what was hardest and what did you try. So these reveal the genuine pinpoint and the workarounds people involved. Okay, so moving towards next, so writing clean need statements. So a clean need statements express what the user wants and why it matters without prescribing how to achieve it. So the easiest pattern is user wants to. So that this keeps us focused on outcomes rather than mechanism. So I avoid the numbers at this stage. So because quantifications belongs to specifications, not needs. For example, user wants to assemble quickly so that travel prep is stress free is a solid need. So use two thumb screw is a premature design choice. So if a sentence name a part or materials or mechanism, I rewrite it as a need. So the aim is language that is simple, positive, user centric, and ready to be tested later, though measurable criteria. Okay, we to ask next. So next one is explicit versus implicit latent needs. Okay, so user often voice explicit needs like make it lightweight or the handle should be. I am taking the example of crutches, right? So so user often use explicit needs like make it lightweight or the handles should not hurt my palm. So, but many of the most important needs remain implicit. So, safety, reliability, hygiene, social acceptance, and dignity. So, I surface a latent needs by asking why repeatedly and by probing the situations where failure occurs, like slippery floors, crowded platforms, dim lighting, sudden stop in a assistive context. So a user may say the handle shouldn't hurt, but the deeper latent requirement is the device must be stable on weight, tiles, and rims. So people cannot. So I can't trust it. So safety critical latent needs are automatically raised to the top of the priority list event. So if no one articulate them directly, okay. So treat safety critical latent needs as a top priority even if unspoken. So you need to keep these things in your mind. Moving towards uh, just a minute. So the next slide, organizing raw needs affinity. Okay. So once I have a wall of needs, I create order through affinity mapping. So each needs gate its own node. So without debate, we silently group nodes that feel uh, similar. So then we name each cluster to capture its theme. Typically, clusters more mobility products include setup, safety, comfort, portability, cost, and maintainability. So we merge duplicates, refine unclear wording, and capture outlines rather than forcing them into ill-fitting group. So outliners often hint at a novel opportunity. So the goal is not perfections but visibility. Patterns and gaps should pop out so we can see where the product must excel and where our understanding is thin. Right. So so visual clustering reveals the theme and gaps quickly. So next is prioritizing needs. So prioritization is where a list became a plan. So I choose a method that fits the theme. Moscow 100 points voting. So pairwise comparison or a Kano, and I make our criteria explicit. Frequency of occurrence, severity of impact, delight potentials, feasibility, and risk. So the output is ranked list of roughly 10 to 15 needs. So each with a non-line rational show future trade-offs are defensible. So in assistive products, safety and fatigue reductions often rank highest because they score high on both severity and frequency. So when scores tie, I use risk and feasibility as tie breakers. So we shift faster and safer when we unlock high impact feasible needs first. Okay. So next is needs specifications that core idea. So specifications translate a need into something we can test. So formally space is a metric with a target and a unit pair with a clear test method. So every key need maps to one or more metrics, and we preserve traceability so that each metric point back to a need and forward to a taste. For example, the need stable on weight tiles and rims becomes the the metric. So maximum sleep angle on a weighted ceramic tiles degrees with an ideal target and a minimum acceptable target and a tilt table test protocol describing apparatus trials and how results are reported. So SPs are promises, so they enable engineering to design, sourcing to negotiate, and question answers to verify. Next one is defining metrics correctly, right? So good metrics are observable, objective, and unit based. So they measure the actual outcome rather than prox whenever possible, and they always include a method that describe how the measurement will be taken, easy to get. So can translate to mass in kilograms, handles contact pressure at a specified load in kilopascals, or time to walk a fixed distance while carrying the device. So in seconds, durable becomes a cycle to fail or a drop heights survived quite became sound pressure level at 1 meter in a dB in a defined environment. So I ensured experimental hygiene consistent surface, humidity footwear, calibrated the instruments, repeated the trials, so results are trustworthy. So a metric without a unit or a test method remain vague and cannot guide design. So so guys, I'm basically giving giving you the content for last 1 week, okay, and trying to give examples from my research area, okay. So yeah. So next is benchmarking and targets. So target should be ambitious yet grounded in reality. So I benchmark competitors and analogs on the same metrics. So I plan to use then set two numbers. So an ideal target that would delight and differentiate. Okay, and I marginal target that is a minimum acceptable. So I balance user value with manufacturability, cost, and relevant standards, so we don't chase numbers that the factory or regulatory will reject. So for marginal target of 6 kg sleep angle on wet tiles might aim for at least 18 degree ideal and 15 degree minimally, handle pressure at and 30 newton grip load might be aim for 25 kilopascals ideally and 35 kilopascals as limit. So benchmarking convert aspirations into data backed goal, right? This is the spaceship template used in project, which you can use like so maintain a living specification sheet that serve as the single source of truth across design, reviewer, supplier conversations, adequacy ratio. So each row defines as a matrix and unit record our current measured value. So capture uh, competitors value sheets, the ideal and marginal targets. and describe the test method we will use. So I assign an honor to each row and track the status, so accountability is clear. The traceability from customer voice to validations, safety critical rows are marked clearly so they receive extra scrutiny when kept current. So this sheet eliminates the ambiguity and accelerate the decision, right? Next is common pitfall and fixes. So teams often stumble in predictable ways, weak needs and space creep in when pressure raise. So the fix is always to add a unit and a test matter. So jumping to solutions shows up as a mechanism latent language. The remedy is to rewrite a statement back into needs and deliberately defer design choice until the right phase. So our specifying too early can lock us into brittle decisions range and interim targets preserve flexibility when we learn. So each keys get ignored unless we design them in inform the start. So I include the lead users and stress scenarios with ramps, crowded queues, low light navigations. So in our test, so throughout I revisit needs and space as evidence grows, freezing only when the data justify it. Okay. So this is the takeaway from week 4, right? So what we cover in the week 4. So the week 4 habit is simple and powerful. Capture the raw voice of the customer without solving, clarify and cluster those input, especially surface latent safety needs, prioritize with explicit criteria and sort rationales, translate each key need into a spec composed of metric, target until the test method and benchmark to get a goal that are good, competitive and feasible. So the outputs you leave with prioritize need list and living space seed. So will guide engineering. Just a minute. So we'll guide engineering sourcing and question answer in the weeks ahead. So if we cannot test it, we cannot promise it, and if we cannot trace it back to a need, we risk solving the wrong problem, right? So the next one is we are moving to the question answer sessions, which so as you can see, our first question is the Kano diagram for customer needs analyze analysis is a graph of what? Option A is customer satisfaction versus function, customer compliance versus function, or customer satisfaction versus design, or customer compliance versus design. What are the right answer? Please answer. Okay. Since none of you are here, so let me explain. So the Canon model is a valuable framework in a product design because it connects the degree of functionality of feature with how satisfied the customer feels. So the vertical axis represents satisfactions ranging from dissatisfactions at the bottom to delight at the top, while the horizontal axis represents the extent to which the function is provided. From none to full implementations, by plotting this relationship, by plotting this relationship, designers can categorize need into must be requirements, performance needs, and delighters. So the correct option is customer satisfaction versus function. So this is because customer satisfaction is directly influenced by how well a function is implemented. For example, in wheelchair, the presence and quality of the braking system strongly determine user satisfaction. So if there is a no braking, dissatisfactions is a very high. So if braking works reliably, the user feels natural. So it is simply expected. If braking goes beyond expectations, such as with anti-slip or automatic locking features, the satisfactions move into delight. So the other operations are incorrect because they mix up the axis. Customer compliance are simply the negative end of satisfactions, not a separate axis. So similarly, design is a broader concept and not an automated handle adjustable in a mobile suitcase or at a zero functionality, right? So user are dissatisfied. Okay, so the right answer for this question is option A. Customer satisfaction versus function uh, explanation. Okay, is the right answer. So moving to ask the next question, question number 2. Okay. Question number 2 is asking, under practical scenario, the designers tries to meet the customer expectation in designing of a new product and achieve the target progressively starting from scratch. This result in the dash curve in Kano diagram. What will the right answer? Okay, let me explain. So in the Kano diagram, a different type of curves explain how satisfactions change with increasing functionality. So when a designer starts from scratch and progressively adds the features and exceed customer expectation, so the resulting curves is delighted performance curve, right? So this curve shows that even though customer may not explicitly demand a certain features, when those features are provided, satisfactions raise sharply beyond the expected level. So the correct option is delighted performance curve, because delight needs often work in a non-linear functions, so their absence does not cause dissatisfactions, but their presence bring unexpected joy. For example, in assistive crutch, user may only expect it to be strong and stable. However, if the designer adds a shock absorbing tip or automatic folding mechanism, so the feature delight the user and create a loyalty to the product, right? So other options do not fit this description. So a basic performance curve refers to must have features, and expected performance curve so linear growth in satisfactions as features improve. So the disgusted performance curve is not a part of the Kano model at all. So hence the delighted performance curve is the only correct fit for this progressive design scenario. And you can also see the correct answer and explanation part. Right? Let's go through this. Next is customer needs that keep changing with the technological advancement fall under the category of what? So customer needs can be divided into categories depending on whether they remain constant or hidden or change over time. So variable needs are those that evolve continuously with technology. For example, decades ago, a simple keypad phone satisfied the customers. Over time, large screen became necessary, then touch screens, and today foldable display or advanced AI features are becoming the new expectations. So this shows how variable needs keep shifting as technology progress. So the correct option is variable needs because option D, variable needs, because they depends heavily on innovation trades, and the other options can be ruled out because consent needs uh, never change, such as safety and comfort. Latent needs are hidden and unspoken, like the expectation that a crutch should not sleep on wet tiles. Niche needs apply to a small group, such as an athlete specific mobility aid. So direct needs are explicitly expressed, like I want adjustable height. Only variable needs reflect the dynamic nature of technology at changing customer expectations, right? And you can see the correct answer and explanation part over here. Question number 4, the customer use pattern of product can be depicted using S-curve, clock modeling cycle, or actively diagram, or like dislike method. What will the right answer? Okay, so an active diagram is guys, yeah, none of you are joining. Yeah, this is not fair. So an activity diagram is the correct tool for mapping customer use pattern. So it shows the sequence of steps, decisions, and interactions in a flow chart like manner. So this make it possible to visualize exactly how customer engage with the product from start to finish under a different scenarios. So the correct answer is activity diagram. Okay, activity diagram is the right answer because it focuses on the flow of activities and user decisions. For instance, in a wheelchair, you could map the user approaching the chair, unlocking, brakes, sitting, moving, stopping, and locking again. Each step reveals potential pain points. So the other options are incorrect because they serve a different purpose. The S curve is used for technology adoptions. The the Kolb cycle describes learning styles, and the like dislike methods simply collect customer preferences. None of them depict use patterns. Okay. So see the right answer and you can see the explanation part. Okay. Moving to the next question, question number 5. The latent needs that can be identified from a product assembly block are a least number of parts of assembling, cardboard box for picking, each of assembling, or truck of delivery, snap fit design or lightweight. So, latent needs are the unspoken or hidden needs that make assembly easier even though customer may not explicitly ask for them. In a product assembly block, such a need include minimizing the number of parts, making assembly intuitive, and using snap fit designs instead of tool or screw. So the correct answer are less number of part for assembling, each of assembling and snap fit design. So this makes assembling quicker and reduce errors, right? And the other options are unrelated to assembly, picking with cardboard, trucks for delivery, or lightweight design are important feature in other stage, but they do not directly simplify assembly. Now you can see the right answer is option A, less number of parts or assembling. Okay, each of assembling, snap fit design explanations, latent assembly, needs reflect assembly. Okay, friendliness, fewer parts each of assembly, and snap fit mechanism that remove the tools, fastener, packaging, logistics, truck, and overall product mass are not the assembly block latent needs per se. Okay. Okay. Next is question number 6. Affinity diagram method is part of which process? Organizing customer needs, marketing the product, addition, or understanding the product opportunity. Affinity diagram help to organize messy data collected from customer interview, observations, or survey. Designers use them to cluster raw needs into logical groups so that the team can identify common theme like safety, comfort, or cost. So the correct answer is organizing customer needs, because affinity diagram are a tool specifically meant to make a large set of raw input manageable and understandable. Okay, and the other options are incorrect. So marketing a product is about selling, ideation is about generating new concept, and understanding product opportunity is about market analysis. So none of these involves clustering customer voice. So the right answer is option A. Okay, organizing customer needs. Can go through this. Next is question number 7. The relative importance of customer needs after implementing affinity diagram is expressed in terms of what? Percentage, ranking, normalizations, or none of the above. So okay, once customer needs are grouped into clusters using affinity diagram, the next step is prioritization. So designers express the importance of each need so that trade-offs can be made rationally when resources are limited. So the correct answer is ranking. So needs are ordered based on frequency, severity, feasibility, and risk. For instance, safe braking in a wheelchair may rank higher than cup holder attachment. So even though both are valid needs, so the other options are not correct because percentage of normalizations are not standard methods here. So saying none of the above is incorrect because ranking is indeed the accepted way to express importance, right? So next is question number 8. Is conversation of the subject customer needs into prices objective product target is formed by developing what? Customer need evaluations, affinity diagram, or product specifications, or mission statement. What is the right answer? Okay, so customer needs are often expressed in vague qualitative terms such as lightweight, so easy to use or comfortable. To design effectively, these must be translated into clear measurable objective. So the correct answer is product specifications, right? Is the right answers. So specifications define a metric, a target, and a unit. For example, weight is less than equal to 2 kg or handle pressure is less than equal to 25 kilopascals. So these can then be verified in testing. So the other options are incorrect because affinity diagram only organize needs. Mission statements describe uh, broad goals, and customer needs evaluation is still subjective. So none of these produce measurable targets like specifications do, right? Next is the quantitative measurable criteria that the product should be designed to safety are metric, usability, weight, or value. So in product development, designers needs measurable and verifiable criteria to know whether a design is successful. So these criteria are always expressed as a matrix and corresponding value. So the correct answer are metric and value. So a metric is what the measure such as weight, and the value is the target such as less than equal to 1.5 kg. So together they turn abstract needs into testable promises. So the other options are incorrect because usability is a broader quality attribute, not a single measurable metric. So weight is only an example of one metric, not the general definitions. So these are the explanation part. You may go through this. Moving to ask next. So which of the following is the primary purpose of the Kano model? So the Kano model is not about efficiency, okay, or cost. Its purpose is to understand how different product features influence customer satisfactions, and it classifies need into must be, performance, and lighter categories. So the correct answer is to classify customer needs into categories, right? And the other options are incorrect because efficiency, cost saving, or prototype testing are important activity, but they are not the purpose of the Kano model. Okay, and now you may see the answer and explanation in the next slide. Sorry, there's question number 10. Okay, so, just a minute. So yeah, to classify customer needs into category is the right answer. Moving to our next question, question number 11. Which of the following is a must be need in the Kano model for wheelchair? Lightweight frame, foldability or storage, reliable braking system, or cup holder for convenience? So must be needs are the basic, non-negotiable features. So their absence cause extreme dissatisfactions, but their presence does not necessarily delight. So customers simply expect them. So the correct answer is reliable braking system. Safety features in wheelchair are assumed. So users would not even consider the product without them. So the other options are incorrect because lightweight are foldability and performance needs. So they improve satisfactions linearly, and a cup holder is a delighter, not essential. So in customer need analysis, affinity diagram helps by grouping raw needs into logical cluster, converting need into measurable matrix, prioritizing needs with weights, and conducting competitor benchmarking. So affinity diagram are a simple but powerful method to reduce complexity. So they transform dozens of scattered input into clear cluster making it easier to identify pattern. So the correct answer is grouping needs into cluster. For example, compliance like hard to carry to happy and hurt by hand can all the grouped under portability and ergonomics. So the other positions are incorrect because matrix prioritizations and benchmarking happen after clustering, not during it. Which of the following is not a valid method for prioritize the customer needs? What will the right answer? Whether is it Moscow's method, Canon analysis, or affinity diagram? Please answer. Okay. Pairwise comparisons. So several techniques exist for prioritizations such as Moscow's. Moscow is basically must, should, could, want, and canalisis and pairwise comparison. So these allow structured decision making about which needs matter most. So the correct answer is affinity diagram because it only organizes needs and it does not rank or prioritize them. So the other options, Moscow's Kano and pairwise comparisons are widely used method for prioritizations. Okay, so the affinity diagram is the right answer. See the right answer as can go through this. Moving towards next question. Question number 14. The relations between customer needs and design specification is best captured by fishbone diagram, house of quality QFD, or activity diagram or brainstorming map. What will the right answer? So designer must ensure that every customer needs is addressed by one or more product specifications. So the tool that create this link is the house of quality in quality functions deployment QFD, right? So the customer, so the correct answer is house of quality QFD, and it creates a matrix that connect needs to engineering characteristics. For example, lightweight as a need may be linked to material density as a specifications. So the other options are incorrect because fishbone diagram analyze causes of problem. Activity diagram so use flow, and brainstorming map capture ideas, not traceability. The correct answer is option B, house of quality QFT. Next is 15. Which of the following represents a latent need for a crush design? Adjustable height, comfortable handle grip, stability on wet surface, or lightweight material. Latent needs are unspoken requirements that users do not always verbalize but expect the product to meet. They are often safety related. So the correct answer is stability on wet surface. Mini crush user might not say it aloud, but they expect the crutch not to slip in the rain or on a tiles. So the other options are explicit or performance needs. Adjustable height and comfortable grip are clearly stated needs, and lightweight design is performance related feature. You can go through this. Next is question number 16. Which of the following best describe a metric in product design? The crutch should be lightweight. The crutch mass must not be exceed 1.8 kg. The handle should be comfortable, or the crutch should be affordable. What will the right answer? So metrics are measurable quantities with units, so which are necessary to verify whether a product meets its requirements. Without them, testing is not possible. So the correct answer is mass is less than equal to 1.8 kg. So this is measurable, has a target and a unit, making it a true metric, right? So the other options, lightweight, comfortable, are vague descriptions that cannot be directly measured. Okay, and you can also see the explanation part in the next slide. Okay. Okay, moving towards the next question, question number 17. So the Moscow method of prioritization stands for what? Must, should, could, want, measure, score, compare, weight, manage a specific control work, or must, select, choose, weight. So the right answer is option A. Must, should, could, want. Must, should, could, want. Okay. So Moscow is simple framework for prioritizing the requirements. So it classifies needs into categories of important to guide development. So the correct answer is must, should, could, want. For example, in crush, must have stable grip, should be lightweight and could have an LED light, and won't include a smartphone holder. So the other options are incorrect because they expand Moscows into unrelated or made up terms. The correct answer is option A. Which step ensures traceability between customer needs and test methods? Benchmarking, creating product specifications, or affinity diagramming, or brainstorming solutions. Question number 80. So traceability means we can follow a line from what the customer said to how it is tested in a lab. The step that creates this link is specifications. The correct answer is product specifications. They connect the need, the metric, the target, and the test method. For example, stable on wet tiles needs sleep angle is greater equal to 15 degree. Metric and target. Tilt table test method. So the other options, benchmarking, affinity, diagramming, and brainstorming, do not establish this chain of evidence. Which of the following is an example of benchmarking in a product design? Measuring the load capacity of competitors' crutch or asking user about their pain point. So grouping needs into safety and comfort categories. Creating a ranked list of top 10 needs. So benchmarking is when you study competitors or analogs products to understand their performance and set realistic targets for your own design. The correct answer is measuring competitors' clutch load capacity. So this provides a baseline to set your own target. So the other options are not benchmarking, asking about pain point is interview, grouping need is affinity diagramming, and ranking need is prioritizations. Okay. So the right answer is option A, measuring the load capacity of a competitor's crush. So benchmarking means testing competitors' product or angles or analogs to set a realistic target. User interview and clustering are early steps, right? So moving to us next question number 20. So in customer need analysis, over specifying too early often leads to what? Innovation opportunities, flexibility in design, or design rigidity and wasted resource, and it increase customer satisfaction. So, in early design stage, flexibility is crucial. Looking number too soon restricts creativity and can result in wasted resource when conditions change. So, the correct answer is design rigidity and wasted resource. For example, insisting that a crutch must weigh exactly 1.6 kg before exploring material options might block innovation and force costly redesigns. So the other options are wrong because innovations and flexibility are reduced, not increased, and customer satisfaction is not guaranteed when our specification limits design choices. Okay, and now you can see the expression part in your screen. So C is the right answer, design rigidity and wasted resource. So when specifications are locked too early without evidence, design flexibility is lost. So leading to costly redesign and wasted effort. Early stage should allow range, not rigid numbers. Okay. So thank you guys, thank you so much. But guys, please try to join the sessions because these sessions might be helpful for your exam purpose, and this attendance is compulsory. So kindly uh, join the meeting. Okay, and as you know that in every week we are trying to provide you a summary of the whole week and the question answer sessions. So if you are even join the one this live session, it will be really helpful for your examinations. Okay, so it's an humble request to everyone, please join the sessions from the next week. Okay, thank you so much.